Your life may not just rise by wishing. It will require a sign and a wonder for it to be lifted. And I want to let you understand there are angels of signs and wonders. There are beings of signs and wonders. Anytime you see the Lord does wonders, check again. Some beings were emerged. There is an emergence of certain beings, certain angelic princes. There is an unleashing of certain kinds of beings. You see the devil strong in a region, check again. He may not be walking upon the face of the earth, but he's walking through his envoys. The same way that anytime you see God walking in a region, he may not be physically walking in a region, he's walking through his envoys. There are angels of territories, there are angels of regions that God sent to do many things. So you wonder, how did God was able to do the sign when the Pharaoh and his army pursue after Israel? Angels were mobilized, and when angels were mobilized, they did their own job. How did Jericho came down, my brothers? It will amaze you that God have no business coming there. Certain beings were mobilized, and by the time they came into Jericho, they came and they begin to sing the wall down. When they came into Jericho, warfare became easy. I want you to understand that the warfare over your life will be tiring. Sometimes the warfare can swallow you until angels are mobilized. And anytime angels are mobilized, your strength is multiplied. And when your strength is multiplied, it becomes a war between an immortal realm and a mortal realm. It becomes a realm of the invisible and a realm of the visible. And a realm of the spiritual will always rule over the realm of the natural. In the days when there was a war in Israel, the Philistines and their army boasted. All the army of Israel began to run because one was revealed. Goliath became an infrastructure. Goliath became a stronghold. Goliath alone became an answer to the kingdom of darkness, that there will be an apostle that can resist the affairs of God. And when Goliath stood, Israel know that their kingdom is strengthening, and they know they are going down. Because in that day, what Goliath intended to do was to march to the palace and go and dethrone the king, and nobody could stop him. And he was trying to make a mockery of the entire kingdom. And while he was yet again making a mockery, suddenly David was unleashed. And David came as an infrastructure of God that God built in a region to answer Goliath. But mind you, David was a cry of the children of Israel, but he was actually an answer to what we call the boasting of Goliath. While Goliath was still boasting, he doesn't know that God have no restraint either to conquer with many or to win with a few. That there were people that God had built in a cave, that all he saw about Israel was not all there is. All he saw was not all there is. God can never be handicapped. If you refuse to walk with God, God will look upon another. God can pick weak and feeble men and make them strong. That is where signs and wonders happen, when God reach upon a man that is not qualified and he qualify him. No man call man in this job. God call man. I can't qualify you, to take God to qualify you. I cannot entrust you in this job. It will take God to entrust you. You cannot call a man that God does not call. You cannot approve of a man that God does not approve. It will require God to put his emblem upon a man. You see, until God call you, no man can call you. Until God ordain you, no man can ordain you. There is an ordination of God, but there is an ordination of man. The ordination of man is weak in the days of adversity, but the ordination of God is strong. In the days when Goliath boasted, men that had the ordination of men ran away. Only those that have the ordination of God stand. And David came out from the backside of the mountain. He came out from a cave called Adullam. He said, I may not be approved as part of the captains of Israel, but I came as the captain of the Lord army host. I am coming from Adullam, a place where God accredit men. As I'm talking to you now, I may not have a physical certification, but my name is registered in the spirit, and I stand as an infrastructure. And he said, who is this uncircumcised Philistine that defiled the camp of God? And in that day, Goliath could not wonder. Goliath began to wonder, who is this person? And he began to state, what I will do unto you. It is the same way that your enemy look at you and say, who are you? You are nobody, but you are a sign and a wonder for a season and for a time, to the intent that the Most High ruleth over the affairs of men. In the days when Nebuchadnezzar boasted, he didn't know that there was a man called Daniel, and he didn't know that a man smoking himself and came into his territory. If he did not enter among the captivity, no problem. But Daniel was captured as a captive, and although he was a captive, he was being punished by the kingdom. They didn't know that in that furnace of affliction, they are building more concentration, and they are making to become more aligned with God. God was building more infrastructure for signs and wonders. And in the days when Daniel uttered a word, a realm beyond Babylon answered. And when that realm beyond Babylon answered, Nebuchadnezzar realized that there was a God beyond him. That before he was created, kingdom have existed. Kingdom have rise, kingdom have fall. The person that boasted in your family was not the first. Many have boasted and they went down. The reason why the devil is strong in your life is because you have not known the way of the spirit. There is a part in the spirit that when you stand, you can look upon challenge and say you are too small. Small challenge make you to backslide. Small thing make you to backslide. You have not stand upon a cleft. There is a cleft in the spirit. When you stand, every kind of attack make you stronger. In the days when a snake come, it will be given unto you to eat of the snake. In the days of warfare, you will realize that the battle of warriors are actually won by sounds. That there is an invisible host that partner with men, and until you understand the strength of them, you will be weak in the days of battle. You thought you are alone in massacre. No, massacre is an infrastructure in the spirit. There are demonic hosts and there are angelic hosts. If you don't know how to partner with the host of heaven, you will remain here and die beggarly. But by the time you learn how to partner with the host of heaven, you will stand and become so strong. And everywhere, everybody will be here, and everybody is bound by the economy here. But when you stand, there is a voice in the spirit that directs you, that guard your path. So when David stood, he said, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? And the king began to wonder. He said, young man, do you want to die? We have the best of our captains. Here are our generals. This is Major General this is Major General that. And all of them have evaluated this man, and they have seen that Israel have no hope. And he said, I have come as part of the defense of the Lord. They tried to put him an armor in the flesh, but they realized that a king is not delivered by the of his army. There is no king but God. The Lord is a warrior. You may not know that you understand the dimension called Jehovah Support. In the day when peace come to challenge you, many years ago, I could not sleep at night. Anytime I try to sleep, it looks as though hell was beckoning upon me. If I peradventure sleep, I sleep in hell, because beings come to torment me. And I realized that the reason why they prosper was because I was not standing upon a cleft. There was a cleft in Zion where liberty is possible. There was a cleft in the spirit where emancipation is possible, where you can sleep like a baby. The Bible said it's vain to wake up early in the morning, only to go to bed late at night. But he giveth his beloved sleep at night, because you eat the bread of sorrow, though you labor so long. There is a labor that comes in grace, that when a man labor in grace, he begin to walk in purpose. Begin to walk in purpose, every bondage is broken.